I launched the Freelance Condition Project because I wanted to describe and articulate what freelance educators do. I want to find out who these educators are, what they do, where they work, how they lead, and what they need to become better leaders. How many independent educators work in natural resource fields and environmental education? I don't know. Where in the world do they work? I don't know. The answers to these questions, and many more, will come from my conversations with educators on this podcast and my communication with them through other channels. Behind all this research and discovery lies the question, how many environmental educators are out there anyway? Let's find out. Welcome to Talaterra, a podcast for freelance educators working in natural resource fields and environmental education. This is your host, Tania Marien. How many environmental educators are there? I wish I had a concrete answer for you, but I don't. The best I can offer is the estimate calculated by researchers from the New Knowledge Organization. They conducted a national study in which they estimated the size of the environmental education field. Their study, which is the first one to attempt calculating the scale and diversity of the environmental education field in the U.S., can be found in the current issue of the journal Environmental Education Research. New Knowledge researchers conducted this study to support individuals working to move the field forward. Not knowing the size of the field, who is working in it and who isn't, who is receiving funding and who isn't, who is being paid and who isn't, who works in informal settings and who doesn't, as well as how many individuals serve as volunteers, all benefit the field and make it possible for it to become more professional. So let's get to the big question. How many environmental educators are there in the U.S.? Because there isn't a directory that sheds light on this, researchers had to use a variety of sources. They estimate the number of U.S. adults working in the environmental education field to be over 3.9 million. The number in the article is actually 3,923,917. Of this, more than 345,000 are estimated to be non-formal educators. The remaining educators work in formal education settings like K-12 classrooms and in higher education. How many of the estimated 345,000 are independent educators like you and me? That's a good question. I don't know this either. I think we're a long way from knowing for sure. The encouraging information I took away from this paper is that the Freelance Condition Project has the potential of addressing issues new knowledge researchers are calling for in future research efforts. Researchers state there is a need to identify subpopulations in the field of environmental education. There is a need to describe how and where these groups learn, how they work, how they came to be on their current career path, and how they can be supported. The Freelance Project can address the subpopulation of freelancers and is already gathering answers to the types of questions mentioned by new knowledge researchers. I have big questions to answer, and I can't answer them without your help. Data collected from the initial survey period is being reviewed. If you are a freelance educator and would like to learn more about the survey, I invite you to join the mailing list for educators. You will receive an email that includes information about the survey. The study by the New Knowledge Organization addresses more than just how many environmental educators there are in the U.S. Researchers investigate the academic training of EE practitioners, that is, environmental education practitioners, and estimate the demographics of the field as well. To obtain a copy of the article, estimating scale, diversity, and professional training of environmental educators in the U.S., check on its availability at your local college library. Visit the show notes and use the link provided to check the stacks at your local library. All you need to do is enter your zip code. Alternatively, you can purchase limited access to view the article online and to download it for $43. Unfortunately, this is not an open access article. See the show notes for a link. Thank you for listening today. If you have questions about this episode, the podcast, or the freelance project in general, please send your questions to me. You can send a voicemail message through your computer or send a written note using the contact form on the show's website. To listen to previous episodes and to find out what other freelance educators do, visit the show's website at talaterra.com.